with myself.
Payback time.
We shock the world!
Thank you. This is still the United States of America where dreams can come true. You're gonna see a lot of me, whether you like it or not.
We're back with the... He's back. Jesse Ventura. Arnold Schwarzenegger can't run for president. He wasn't born in the United States. Should he be allowed to?
No.
No?
No.
So you favor that Constitution?
Yes, because of this. Nothing against Arnold, but Arnold took an oath of allegiance to the Austrian army. Because when he lived in Austria, you were required to do that. I don't want a commander-in-chief who took an oath to another army.
Couldn't give up that oath?
Well, well, George Washington was born here.
Okay.
So it's been a long time, and no, I think that you definitely should be born in this country to be the commander-in-chief.
Email question from Steve in Newport, Minnesota. As a citizen of Minnesota, I found your political views refreshing. You had a chance to push the independent party to new heights, but got caught up with the press and your own ego. Any regrets about how you handled things?
No, because it wasn't my ego that caught up with anything. He's wrong right there. I chose not to run again. If you read my book, I explain it completely. I didn't run for a second term because of the health of my wife. And I will pick my wife over any political office in the land. She means more to me than holding an office.
What was the matter?
Well, the moment I won election, she was having a lot of difficulty and they couldn't determine what was wrong with her. It turned out that it was Epstein-Barr mono that then evolved into this chronic fatigue syndrome. And she's still troubled with it today, although...
Sleep a lot?
Yeah, and she would be at certain points where she told me lifting her purse felt like it weighed 250 pounds. It's a very difficult disease that doctors have just recently began to recognize. At the time she had it, they weren't even recognizing it fully, and the Bajas really cured her of it. Because
What are your impressions, by the way, of Al Gore?
I think Al Gore is terrific. I think that he's one of the few politicians who I believe almost went to greater heights after getting out of office. To win the Nobel Prize is remarkable. I really love the fact that he's focused so much on the environment and the global warming, and that's a very honorable thing. Even if you don't believe in global warming, isn't it still better to have emissions be less? Isn't it still better to use less fuel? You don't even have to buy global warming to realize what everyone's saying about it would still be the best thing for us to do as a society.
You took a little swipe at Lou Dobbs before, but what do you think of illegal? You can't say I favor illegal immigration, do you?
No, I don't, but why do you, remember this, the Pilgrims didn't have visas.
Well, it's a different time.
Oh, really? So in other words, we come in, kill the Native Americans, take their land, and now we require paperwork to be here?
We stole it fair and square.
Yeah, exactly. Now we require paperwork. Why should somebody have to give a reason for being in a country? What if you were a Mexican person who just wanted to come here for 2 weeks vacation? Can you imagine the paperwork you got to go through just to do that, Larry?
Well, I think the thinking would be you'd have just anarchy.
Let me put it to you this way. Lou Dobbs and his fence at the border, well, if they build it, I'm going to climb it and protest the other way. I'm going over it to Mexico where I live. And you know why the reason I'll do that, Larry? Is people better wake up in this country that a fence that goes up today to keep people out 10 years from now might be to keep you in. I don't particularly want to live in East Berlin.
Or do you think rules count?
Certainly
the
rules
government
count.
should have rules.
Certainly.
And shouldn't you have to abide by certain rules to become a citizen of this country?
Certainly, but you shouldn't have to abide by rules to come and visit it. I go to Mexico.
Work in it?
Why? So you come up here and get a job. Blame the person that's hiring. Don't blame the poor guy that takes the job. If you want to stop illegal immigration, you have to make it so that the people that hire the illegal immigrants will not be in a position to hire them. Just like the war on drugs. You're not going to win the war on drugs going after the supply side. You win it on the demand side through education. You don't win it because you know, and the illegal immigrant that comes up here. Well, I hope Lou Dobbs and all the people like him are prepared to pay double for their food. Because when they stop allowing the illegals up here, if they're going to have me out there picking that food, Larry, I'm going to charge them $250 an hour, and the price of food's going up.
What's your read on what's happened with the economy?
I think it's directly to the Iraq War.
That's the reason.
I think that's a great deal of the reason. When we've sent over 500 million, I don't know what they're at now, getting close to $1 billion over there. And what happened to the fact Donald Rumsfeld sat on TV and told us Iraqi oil was going to pay for the whole thing? What happened to that concept? I guess that went down the drain with weapons of mass destruction, ties to Al-Qaeda. And you know, when I give speeches, this isn't the first war we've been lied about. The Vietnam War. McNamara's now come out and said the Gulf of Tonkin incident never happened. And that was the catalyst that put us into the Vietnam War, and that was a lie. I'm tired of, you know, every president since I've been alive and can remember, which basically takes me from LBJ on, has lied to me.